This was absolutely insane to witness, as in another must-win game, the Rangers pull off another brutal performance, but somehow come away with a huge win that keeps their playoff hopes alive. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest, but before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 68% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with the New York Rangers, it's free. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, there's a lot coming into this game. Obviously, playoff implications for both teams. And of course, JT Miller playing against the team that traded him away to New York. And there was a lot of storylines like that coming into this game. And obviously, JT Miller had some quotes yesterday about leaving the team and his, playing his former teammates. And I thought they were very classy. So he had all of that going on. The fact that the Rangers need to win this game to stay in the playoff push. And of course, Sam Rosen. We're going to break that down first. We're going to get into that. The celebration of Sam Rosen today. And he thanked all the New York Rangers fans. And honestly, it was a short but sweet speech from Sam Rosen. And thank you again, sir, for 40 years of being the voice of the New York Rangers and such a voice in hockey. Like, so many people know who Sam Rosen is without even seeing his face, right? They've heard his goal calls, and it's a power play goal and everything like that. And this was a very emotional day, not just for him, but for the team, the fan base, everybody, because this is a celebration of a man who's put his heart and soul into that for the last 40 years. So couldn't have thought of a better way to send them off than a win, of course, which is what they did. So that was fantastic. And again, just a quote quick. We're going to wrap this up quick and get into the game. But from Sam Rosen, I'm nervous about it. And it was about what it meant for him to be, the front and center of Madison Square Garden today. And he went on to say, I'm nervous about it to be the center of attention here in this building, a building that I've been coming to since it opened in 1968 when we had the gondola as our broadcast location. I felt the crowds. I felt the building shake. I remember a Billy Joel concert on New Year's Eve, and I said to my wife at the time, if the Rangers ever win the cup, it's going to be just like this and even better. And then he had the opportunity to experience that in 1994. So that was fantastic. I'm glad they sent them off with a win, but we do have to get into the game now, which was another brutal performance. I mean, they finished the game with 12 shots on goal. You cannot listen. There are a lot of positives to pull from this game somehow. But if you continue to only have less than 15 shots on goal in a game, they've done it twice this week, you're not going to make the playoffs. They got very lucky in this game, honestly. Their playoff hopes are alive. They're tied with the Montreal Canadiens as it stands right now for the final wildcard spot. Montreal Canadiens have games in hand, so we have to keep that in mind. But they got very lucky in this one. This will not, we're all very excited after this win. It was a good win. It's a feel-good day because of Sam Rosen. You're not going to win many games down the stretch here heading into April if you're only getting 12 shots on goal a game. Absolutely brutal. And I don't want to hear no more Shesterkin slander ever again. It's done. We're done with it. The contract's been signed. He is the goaltender for this team. And he's gave them a chance to win against Calgary and won this game for them in this one. And I know, obviously, they got a couple cheap goals, but it is what it is. But JT Miller capped it off with an empty net goal against his former team. You love to be on the opposite side of things like that sometimes. Love that. So that was awesome to see. And again, he finished off his former team there in the final minute. One thing I wanted to point out, too, though, because there's a lot to feel good about, and we'll get into the goals in a second, is there was a timeout called by Vancouver ahead of the 5-on-3. All the Canucks players you can see are huddled at the bench. And like I mentioned and pointed out in my last video, where are the Rangers? None of them are meeting. We don't know where they are. They're off screen here. They're all on the bench, just hanging out, not really talking about what they're about to do here on this 5-on-3. So I don't like to see that. A lot of them didn't seem not engaged whatsoever when JT Miller was kind of drawing out the plan last game to get them back in the game. So don't like to see that at all, and that is something that's kind of continued and lingered throughout this season. But to get to some positives and some interesting stuff today, some different line combinations, and Brodzinski moved up today as well. He was playing with obviously JT Miller at times. There was a lot of shuffling of the lineup today, but Brodzinski came up huge today with 2 goals. Just being in the right spot at the right time, driving the net. These are the things that you need to do to find success. So he was fantastic. If you take a look at the box score, like I said, 2 big goals for Brzezinski today. Obviously, JT Miller gets the empty netter. He threw in an assist there today as well. You got a goal from Adam Fox, who tipped a point shot in, which is weird to say because he's a defenseman, but right spot at the right time, I guess, as we're talking about that. And obviously, K'Andre Miller, I mean, for as much flack as he's gotten all season, he has been playing a little bit better as of late. And he did the right thing there. He shot it to an area and it hit a skate and went in. It didn't hit Brendan Othman's skate. Unfortunately, not his first NHL goal. But Othman had a great game today. He had an assist. They ended up giving it back to him at the time of this recording. So he does have officially his first NHL point. He had another fantastic game. I'm glad he played a smidge more than he has been, which is fine. They need to start playing that, not just the fourth line, but players like Brendan Othman a little bit more. He played a smidge more, a minute more than the other night, but nice to see that. But he had another great game. He officially gets that assist, so good for him. First NHL point, and then Shesterkin again, absolutely brilliant in net. So love to see that. These are the things that they're going to need if they're going to make the playoffs, right? But they do need big performances from the big boys as well, which they haven't necessarily been getting. Chris Kreider's been a little bit quiet at times. Yes, he got that goal against the Toronto Maple Leafs in garbage time, but that is what it is. But still, I like that K'Andre Miller, and you get a little bit of help from the Canucks goaltender who wasn't on his game today, and there were some bad bounces, what have you, whatever. But again, K'Andre Miller, to get back to that, just throwing the puck to an area, bounces off a skate and goes in, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Just put the puck to the net. Things will happen as long as you're going to the net to create some chaos. So love to see that. And again, the lines were a little bit different today. They switched up in the middle of the game. Parsonen got back into the lineup instead of Berard. Not necessarily a fan of that move. I'm a big fan of Brett Berard and what he's brought to the lineup this year, but I get it. They have the extra bodies. They want to use them. It's fine. Susie back into this game as well. They do seem to be rocking Miller Borgen a lot. Like, obviously before Fox got hurt, it was Miller Fox, so that was interesting. And then Jones and Schneider, don't necessarily hate it. Obviously, a lot of people will say that they do hate it, but and then if you look at Zach Jones tonight, -1, right? So I can understand frustration from fans. So there is a little bit of that, but still, I don't mind that pairing. And statistically, especially the first half of the season, that pairing was really good when they were playing in a sheltered role. So last thing I wanted to mention is JT Miller. I thought he had some classy comments yesterday about playing his former team, and obviously they came away with a big win. But again, if you're going to play that way, you're not going to get many of these results, right? This probably, logically, on paper, whatever you want to call it, should have been a loss. Hockey's weird like that sometimes. If you throw pucks to areas, things happen, but you have to get more than 12 shots on goal a game. That's absolutely ridiculous. But and I thought they had a better game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was the craziest part. But anyway, nonetheless, JT Miller, I'm facing his former team. He said, some of my best friends are on that team. We're going to dinner tonight, which was last night. But once tomorrow comes, it's going to be a war, and I think we all understand that. We would rather it be that way anyway. It's all business when we get out there. So I like the mindset, and I love what JT Miller has brought to this team. We saw it in the last game and a couple games ago with the huddle. JT Miller's, calling the shots. This is what we got to do, right? So definitely going to get a letter, I would believe, on his jersey next season because he is that guy, either the captain or assistant captain. We don't know who's going to be the next captain of the New York Rangers. Could be Trocheck, could be him, but nonetheless, he has been leading since he came here, so that was a great pickup, I thought, still, for the Rangers. But they are now tied with the Montreal Canadiens for the second wildcard spot. There's a lot of games going on tonight, so things could change very rapidly, and things are going to be changing every single day because the wildcard spot race is so tight around the league. But the Rangers somehow come out with a win here and give themselves an opportunity to still make the playoffs. You lose this game, it was looking almost like a 0% chance. But now you pick up a big 2 points here. Somehow you have to continue to build off this momentum and have a much better game and games heading into next week. You're going to California. It's the California road trip. There are some teams there that have not been playing well. So you have to get back to it and get more than 12 shots on goal. But let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.